The brilliance of the pie scene and this glorious meme face from Connie, it is so well done, and I think a lot of people will probably just look at it as either a goofy moment that they think is out of place or a goofy moment that they just love for the memes. But when you compare the feelings that many of us have had prior to probably season 4, the idea of Annie getting out of her crystal was a very frightening thought because the way season 1 ends, right? I mean, that is, up until that point, one of the most devastating points of the story prior to the walls collapsing at the start of episode 1. So to have that enemy come out, that is something that is fearful. But as the story progresses and as we get deeper into the story arcs, what Annie did is very small in comparison to what many of the other characters have done. And when we compare what Eren is attempting to do and has already started doing, destruction of the entire world minus a small island is worse than anything anyone has ever done, even if you believe Eren's initial motivations for doing so are justified or not. I mean, this story is all about the cycle of war and what causes things to happen, but the idea that a character like Connie, right, can go from nearly killing a boy who did him no wrong to save his mother, to then giving up on that fact when seeing Armin willing to, let that boy live so that they would have a chance at an alliance with Reiner and company. Very much one of those things where there's two reasons to that easy of tension. Armin's probably worried that Annie could do something horrible. Well, is she gonna go for revenge? Connie just went from nearly killing a kid, and the only thing that he can focus on is how much of a sloppy eater she is and how she's guzzling down these pies like it's a Tic Tac, right? And I love the idea because when you compare how we were initially worried about Annie coming out of that crystal, for her at this point, knowing what's going on, whatever caused her to go in that crystal to begin with, it doesn't matter anymore. First things first, she hasn't ate in 4 years. She's a hungry girl. But secondly, what would fighting them do? Both sides are realizing that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and Eren hates, Marley hates a lot of those people. And for Armin and company, the last thing they want is for them to survive at the cost of the entire world. And I completely understand that feeling because, war is a brutal, brutal thing. And even if one side started it, ultimately, do you really want to cause that level of genocide just so you can survive? I know damn well, at least, how I feel currently. If I had that option, save my life at the cost of the world, I couldn't do it. But put into a character like Eren or any of the other shoes and experiencing the hell they did, I can't say what I would do because humans are complex and situations shape us, right? And that's the brilliance of this writing, is that situations define characters and humans can make the most awful or beautiful decisions push come to shove. And these characters have been pushed to their limits. And that's what's so great about a simple scene that is goofy on paper, but actually serves as such a purpose to show us they were once enemies, but there's no reason other than to see a hungry girl eat pie and make fun of that, because even though she was an enemy, even though that she killed so many, who we once called our best friend is about to commit a world annihilation. That looks very small in comparison, and 4 years seems like a lifetime ago. Even just the smaller moments after seeing, Best Boy John over there just kind of cause such a ruckus, the 4 shots missing, thinking he's about to shoot this man, and then the cart titan comes in and then pulls him away. I love how in the face of such an intense situation, the idea of curiosity and the scientist's brain of being wait a second, you can stay in your titan for months, right? Do you brush your teeth? How dare you ask a lady that? The way this episode relieved tension in such perfect ways for the characters, and the idea of just how they elevated that to just make it work so well for the anime as they basically assemble the last remaining strike force that could attempt to stop Eren. Can you stop Eren? I remember reading this. I was like, how the hell do you stop Eren? Not only do you have all these titans, ultimately, we've got a glimpse of what's happening. That doesn't look defeatable, even if you have, all the military might in the world. But I love the idea that for them, it's not necessarily about, can we stop Eren? It's a matter of, can we live with ourselves if we don't try? And I think when you compare John, of all characters, someone who wanted to start his life inside the walls, didn't want to pick up a sword for anything because he wanted to have a leisurely life, now had the chance to do that. He could have lived with Jaegers as one of the top generals probably, but he can't look at the ashes of the dead and not want to kill himself for not trying to stop it. And I think that's the most brilliant part about this reunion. Reiner, Gabby, look at both of them. Gabby used to have such a cult-like hatred for this island, has grown to understand that they're not just devils. Reiner, from friend to foe. There's all these conflicting things. But when you look at what Eren's about to do in the grand scheme of things, our problems from before seem so small. And that's what I love about Isayama's writing here, is that it doesn't excuse prior actions, but when a bigger action is being committed, it looks very small in comparison, especially given the fact that, at this point, uniting to, at the very least, try to stop it. I mean, for someone like Reiner, wouldn't want to see his family destroyed by Eren. For people like Armin, who feels like that guilt, like he's not worthy of being Eren's replacement, right? You have Connie, who almost killed a child just to save his mother, and in return that would have made the mother suffer even more. All these different characters have their reasons for joining forces, but it makes sense to do so, and the idea of not wanting to sit by and watch the world burn, I think, is a very human reason of wanting to go up against Eren, who seemingly is doing it for your freedom, because that level of guilt is not something many people could bear. I love the intro of the episode, seeing, once again, other people's perspectives of what happened when Pass was activated. Just having, the idea of, we're just gonna have to be on the run forever, the Jaegers are gonna control the island. Eren Yeager comes in our minds saying he's gonna destroy the world, oh shit. And then, ultimately, that's how we got into contact with the general and everything like that. And I really think the enemy of my enemy is my friend is such a brilliant phrase, and it works so well for a show like this because really, not only just in pure scale of the Colossals marching and Eren leading, just the idea of what it represents in the grand scheme of things of the world being trampled. I mean, even if you were once on the other side, there's no reason to doubt someone saying they want to try to stop Eren, because literally what do you gain by trying to betray us? We're no threat to him by ourselves, but together they're hoping they stand a chance. And that's what's so amazing about this show and the story in general, is that seeing how a character got to the point, their breaking points to commit the atrocities that they are, it definitely explains it. And whether it excuses it is obviously a personal preference. And my philosophy, in my opinion of it is destroying the world is not a solution. It's not. It's something that the hell that you would see afterwards is just, I wouldn't be able to live with myself, right? But the idea of how we got to that point makes total sense, and it's so interesting to see how the story started in such a colossal way, no pun intended, of just destroying the walls, to seeing how small that action seems in the grand scheme of things of what we're building up to now. The writing is fantastic, and every character's motivation of picking up arms or standing by and watching the world burn, so to speak, or even leading that fire like Eren is, it all makes total sense for their character writing, and no character is really without sins in this world in a lot of ways, and that's what makes this show so damn compelling. And seeing the general people, some fearful, some cheering Eren, it just continuing to get lingering effects of what the rumbling has done to the people Eren is trying to save, and comparing that devastation to what is going to happen to the people Eren wants to destroy, that's insanity. Thoughts and feelings, though, on this week's Attack on Titan episode. A lot to think about in terms of the deeper themes for sure, as well as just enjoying the simple meme faces as per usual. But thoughts and feelings, if you have any, leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. Until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.